The Oklahoma Sooners had good reason to celebrate early this season, but then came consecutive in the closing seconds. Don't underestimate the Sooners' attack. It's explosive and fast, and today Gary Gibbs' gang will be out to reclaim the glory of Oklahoma's past. Sit back and escape to the Big Eight. Oklahoma and Colorado coming up next. On a CFA Saturday, a reminder, winter is just around the corner. We welcome you to the snow-dusted peaks of the Flatirons. You know, when you come to Colorado searching for the Buffaloes, just ride Route 36 from Denver, hug the Rocky Mountain Range, and then stroll Colorado Boulevard on this beautiful Boulder campus. Today, it's Oklahoma against Colorado from Folsom Field. It's just past high noon in the Rocky Mountain West, and we're set at the old Colorado Corral. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jim Nance, and welcome to Oklahoma against Colorado. This is the only college football game this weekend involving two teams ranked in the top 25. Colorado is number 10, and Oklahoma is number 22. This also marks the beginning of round-robin play in the Big Eight between the Big Three. Bear in mind that Oklahoma cannot go to a bowl game. It can win the conference. They consider this game today and the game the day after Thanksgiving against Nebraska to be their bowl games. Colorado is entertaining larger goals. With a loss and a tie, the Buffaloes believe they are still in the chase for a national championship. We're going to see a lot of option play today out of the two offenses. And the first option you're going to see is right now as I pitch it across the field to my colleague, Tim Brandt. Timmy?
All right, Jim, I'll take that pitch, and I'll run with it because I'm excited to see these two offenses. You know, in the past, the Big Eight has been synonymous with run, especially Oklahoma and Colorado traditionally. Smash mouth option football, first team to run for 400 yards wins. But I think that has changed a little bit. Colorado had its eyes open last year in the Orange Bowl against Notre Dame. The Irish just loaded up, dared the Buffaloes to pass. Colorado couldn't, had their only loss of the year. A little bit different story with Oklahoma, still trying to pick up the pieces from the Barry Switzer era. Now, Gary Gibbs went out and hired a new offensive coordinator. That's Larry Corker. Coker is from Oklahoma State, and he believes firmly in a pass-run balance. But I guess the biggest indicator that times have changed is that Oklahoma went out and recruited a pure passing parade All-American named.
One of the reasons why I came here because I knew there was going to be some changes going on. Coach Gibbs knows, you know, if we're going to be a great team and win the big games nowadays, we got to start throwing the ball a little bit more than what they have been doing. People are just starting to, you know, catch on to the run every play.
It's Cale Gundy. He's a freshman. He's outspoken. He stirred things up in Norman, Oklahoma 2 weeks ago. As a matter of fact, he openly criticized the coaches for not throwing the football enough, but they didn't reprimand him. Instead, they gave him his first start ever last week rather. He gets his second here today, and we expect to see him throw the ball. Now, I'm not going crazy. I know the run will be dominant, but I also firmly believe that the team that throws the best will probably win this game. Cale Gundy, remember that. Right now, let's take you down the field and up into the stands. Here's my partner, John Dockery. Doc.
Thank you, Tim. And I'm glad we're not losing our heads over the pass, especially with a Heisman-type running back on the field like Eric Bieniemy. Bieniemy second in the country in rushing behind John Vaughn. Over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, 150 yards a game. This is a chance for him to make some hay in the Heisman and also to show off before his mom. Fern, step in here. You're with me today. What about Eric and the Heisman? Does he talk about it much?
Not that much. Eric is a person that just wants to take every game at a time.
Is he aware of it, though? He's aware of the Heisman.
He's aware of the Heisman, you know, but it's behind his season. You know, let his season go on first.
What about this game today against Oklahoma?
I think we're going to win, and I believe Eric thinks that they're going to win, so go see you.
All right, I know he didn't play last year, and right now, look down here, the Buffalo Ralphie is ready, and so are the Buffaloes of Colorado in one of the more theatrical entrances in college football, Jim Nance.
Well, there you have it, Ralphie 3 leading out the Buffaloes. What a great scene. 1,200-pound mascot. Want to meet him up close? Ralphie 3. That was our special Woo Cam. Now here comes OU, 5-2, but back-to-back losses for the Sooners coming in. It's a Big 8 matchup you'll want to stay around for. Beautiful skies in the 60s in the Rockies.
CBS Sports presents college football. Live from Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado. It's the Oklahoma Sooners versus the Colorado Buffaloes. Today's CFA game is sponsored by Toyota's quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. The U.S. Navy, you and the Navy, full speed ahead. And by Coors Light, the one that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
A capacity crowd of 54,000 people here in Folsom Stadium on their feet on a perfect October afternoon. 62 degrees, clear sunshine, blue skies. Jim Nance, Tim Brent, a perfect day for a football game. Back to you guys.
Oklahoma won the toss and will receive. Jim Harper to kick for Colorado. Dewell Brewer will down it. The Sooners will start from their 20. Sold out over 50,000 at Folsom Field in its 66th year on this beautiful campus in Boulder. Number 12 is the freshman quarterback Cale Gundy for the Sooners. This is his second collegiate start. He is joined in the backfield by Brewer and Mike McKinley. Gundy completes his first pass to Arthur Guess. Near the first down yardage, Deion Figures bumped him out.
Let's establish this right away, Jim. When you're an option team and you've got the triple option, you assign people defensively to take away the dive, the quarterback, and the pitch man, which leaves that wide receiver man for man. And that's why a lot of times you'll see these option teams have the high gain per average per pass.
2nd and inches for Oklahoma. McKinley, the fullback, picks up the first down.
Early on, I think Oklahoma wants to use a variety of formations, a balance of plays to see if Colorado defensive alignments. Also a priority to give Cale Gundy confidence with some fail-safe high percentage things like we saw in that first pass. If you hit one and you score on that first drive, you know, that's a bonus. But I think for the most part, a first drive is emotional for the players and educational for the coaches.
Corey Warren in as a receiver on first down for Oklahoma. Play action. Gundy's second pass caught. Adrian Cooper, the tight end, near the 40-yard line. All right, let's meet the Sooners. Cale Gundy, a much scrutinized freshman, starting at quarterback. Brewer, Ted Long is the Z-back, as they call it, for the Sooners. McKinley got the start over Rashid. Kenyon Rashid will alternate with McKinley. Arthur Guess, he already has a reception. And Adrian Cooper as well. Cooper just picked up 8 on that play. 2nd and 2 for the Sooners. Inside with a flag down. McKinley is stuffed. Joel Steed, Gary Howe, and Chad Brown.
Full start. The offense will be 2nd down.
Tim, how do you rate the offensive line for Oklahoma?
Oklahoma's offensive line is big and it's strong. You look at Randy Wallace. He's the most improved guy on that line. You got Sawaski. He was a walk-on, and now he's an outstanding player. Matisse is there as well. He's all academic Big 8. And then you got Miller and Houston outside. Houston comes in. He's been banged up with a knee injury. Offensive line, Jim, has been a very consistent strength of this team.
2nd and 7. Joel Brewer picks up the first down to the 44-yard line. Greg Biekert, Greg Thomas finally stopped him. Underrated Joel Steed starts the defense at nose for Colorado. Leonard Renfro and Gary Howe join him on the line. How about the linebackers here? Biekert and Brown inside, but it's the outside everyone talks about here.
Well, Biekert, as you mentioned, is outstanding Big 8 leading tackler, but the outside guys, Williams and McGee, probably the strength. And today they will be pressured because perimeter football against the option is critical.
First down, Oklahoma. Gundy has completed his first 2. There's his first misfire. That was in the direction of Ted Long. Tim James on the coverage. Back in the secondary. Let's meet the defensive backs for the Buffaloes.
Figures and McLuhan, they're the outside guys. Been very consistent. Thomas and James are going to be the safeties. And again, we talked about the perimeter and how important that is really on the option to shut that down, force everything back inside for flood control. Also for the safeties, they've got to come up on run support on the option. So we'll keep an eye on that position as well.
Bill McCartney, the Colorado coach, everyone's National Coach of the Year in 1989. 2nd and 10. Overthrown. Intended for Long once again. McLuhan was with him.
Six plays so far, 4 passes for Oklahoma. When's the last time you saw that out of a Sooner team?
We've all seen games where they don't throw 4 pass attempts in an entire contest.
This offense continues to change, and once they keep recruiting more skill position, they want to get it to a 60-40 balance. 60 run, 40% pass.
3rd and 10. Throwing it down the line, and it's caught for a first down at the 45 of Colorado. A gain of 11. Corey Warren makes the grab.
This play is set up by the freshman quarterback. You want to make people think you're going to run that option, reverse pivot, all of a sudden just pulls up and fires it. You know, most freshmen don't know if the ball is pumped or stuffed, and especially when they get into a big crowd like this. National television. But he is poised, he's composed. You can already see he's an outstanding talent. All 3 of their first down plays have been passes.
Another first down for Oklahoma. Alfred Williams running across. Let's check the flag.
Dead ball. False start of the offense. First down.
Throwing the ball, and he talked about throwing on first down.
Second penalty against the Sooners. Now 1st and 15 from right at the 50-yard line. Gundy on the option. Look at the freshman go inside of the 40 and a gain of 12. McKinley, his fullback, threw a block for him.
Colorado wants to be very conscious of which quarterback is in the game. Gundy will start, Collins will play, but they feel like Gundy is not the option guy, and when he does run the option, he will pitch it. But here he holds on to it and shows pretty quick feet, a lot of agility. Collins is really more the option guy who will run, the better runner.
We'll call it 2nd and 2. Give Gundy 13 on the rush. Brewer wrapped up by Biekert and Howe.
See Canavis McGee that time went in to make the tackle. Helmet flew off. He didn't have a hat on. Still went in and made the stop. His helmet was laying down by the 30. He's just now getting it back strapped up. Watch McGee. He'll come in late on this play. Here's the handoff. There's figures number 2, but we want to watch 96 as he comes in here. See the helmet fly off. He's still in the tackle. Goes down, gets his head hit on the hard turf. He's all strapped up, ready to go back again.
Watch him on this play. 3rd and 1. Oh, and the second effort by McKinley may have picked up the first.
They're going to measure while they bring the chains out. We talked about Oklahoma coaches trying to use a variety of formations to see how Colorado reacts and what they do. So far, we've seen them use 2 tight ends. They've gone to 3 wide receivers. They've used a high bone type thing and run the option. And they ran the play action passes. So it's been an impressive drive thus far for the Sooners.
To help settle down the freshman quarterback and the second-year coach, Gary Gibbs. His Sooners taking the opening kick and driving. 11th play of the opening drive. A first down now for the Sooners. Fake to Brewer. Here comes Williams. Stripped the ball loose, but Gundy got it on one bounce.
Williams, the captain of the defense. He has 9.5 sacks, gets at least 1 a game, dropped quarterbacks for a loss in all 8 games this year. Comes from behind off the corner, strips it loose, and Gundy got the lucky break. It bounced right back to him. No turnover.
That counts as a sack. That's now 9 straight games, Tim, for Alfred Williams with a sack. 2nd and 15. Quickly left side to Guess. Tries to shake free, but Deion Figures has him.
Arthur Guess is the big play guy on that Oklahoma offense. He's the leading receiver with 9 catches, 13-yard average, big potential. Fastest guy, runs a sub 4.4. They've timed him in 4.38 in the 40. Not a big guy, but he's a 5th-year senior. With that experience, it makes a major difference in a game like this. National television, big crowd.
He's already caught 2 passes. 3rd and 8 for Oklahoma from the Colorado 32. He's open, the tight end, Cooper, down at the 6. A gain of 26 to Adrian Cooper.
Great story in the paper today locally of Cooper. He's a local prospect, came from Denver. Wanted to make a big play in this ball game. He says, that's all I want to do. I want to contribute today. I've got a lot of friends, a lot of family here. Comes in, makes the big play there. That middle is vulnerable. We told you they think about the pitch, dive, and quarterback. They gave up the middle.
Now they come out in the wishbone on 1st and goal. Brewer, McGee, and Brown, and Howe all stopping for no gain. Well, Brewer is the tailback, sophomore from Lawton, Oklahoma. Rushed for 140 yards last week, his 2nd best career game. He's out of there now as McKinley is the lone back on 2nd and goal. 3 receivers for Oklahoma. Gundy just gets it away. Randy Wallace was the only man close, and he's the center. They want grounding here in Boulder, but no flag.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, McKinley was hiding behind some of those big guys, so there was a receiver within 10 yards, 5 yards actually. Here's Gundy here, looks back. They had no intention to run the football. They came out in a pro set. Pressure came from everywhere, up the middle, outside, and he just unloaded the ball.
Warren to the right. McKinley, Long, and Brewer in the backfield on 3rd and goal. Down the line, Gundy keeps and scores. Touchdown, Oklahoma. It was a good job. Nothing like 16 plays and 80 yards to open up this contest. Lasher's point after. Goes in sideways. Scored good. 7-0 Oklahoma.
The running is important here, but the decision is what makes this play work. Here's the fake, comes down. Now he sees the linebacker, Chad Brown, number 34, is being driven out to the left side. He cuts back underneath, behind the clearing blocks, and there's absolutely nobody there. Chad Brown couldn't shake off the blocker.
16-play, 80-yard drive by Oklahoma. They lead Colorado 7-0. And right before the game, I had a quick conversation with Gary Gibbs, and he told me two things. One, they would throw the ball. Became fairly obvious in that drive. He said they would throw on 1st down. 2, I asked him about his quarterback, and he just smiled. The third point he made about their defense is the free safety, number 19, Terry Ray, is critical if they're going to stop Colorado. Jim and Tim?
All right, Doc. Darian Hagan will finally get an opportunity to take to this artificial surface at Folsom Field. Brad Riddell kicks for the Sooners. Riddell is the punter for Oklahoma as well. He drives it to the 8 to Mike Pritchard. Well, that was an exciting run back, but only to the 24. Now there's another story shaken in the Big 8. And let's get the update now in New York. Take it away, Andrea.
Well, Jim, in another Big 8 game, Iowa State looking for its 2nd straight upset today, but the Cornhuskers have come back. Leotis Flowers' 1-yard run tied the score. About 14 minutes left in the first half. Houston has also come back. 2 touchdown passes from David Klingler, and the Cougars are up 24-14. Now let's go back to Boulder.
Thank you, Andrea. Now here come the Buffaloes. Their first possession. 1st and 10. Darian Hagan's the signal caller. He's going to try his hand at throwing. He hits his tight end, Sean Brown, for a 1st down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this BYU? I can't figure this out. San Diego State. Both teams come out. They're both throwing. We expected that. Not as much, perhaps. This Darian Hagan, of course, is a talent. He's been strong, not only passing, but running. The enemy you talked about in the pregame, Heisman Trophy candidate. It is a talented backfield, and Hemingway is one of the best blockers you'll see this entire season. Pritchard, they'll move him around to give people different looks. He's the big play guy.
Somehow they told us to head to the Rockies for the Big 8. We landed in the Western Athletic Conference. 1st and 10 Buffaloes. There he is, Bieniemy. And a 2-yard gain into Reggie Barnes. He runs. And look out, a little kicking going on. We talked about the enemy's intensity. Jay Lewinberg is the center for Colorado. This is a big offensive line, one of the best. Joe Garton's an All-American. Brian Campbell steps in today for Russ Heasley. Ariel Solomon at left tackle. And Mark Vanderpool, another All-America. He's at right tackle.
2 Outland Trophy guys, 2 all-academic guys. An impressive line.
2nd and 8. Hagan. Man is open. Rico Smith was hanging out down the right sidelines.
Both defenses are playing on their heels now. They're a little bit uncertain, expecting the option. All of a sudden, they have to go into pass defense. They're loading up, firing this ball right at you. You're in the secondary now. Rico was wide open. If this ball is another step shorter, it's a touchdown. I think Colorado's in a familiar position, very comfortable in the fact that they've trailed 8 of the first 9 games.
3rd and 8. Bieniemy gets the run. That's a 12-yard gain. And you saw the slashing ability of the man they call Scooter.
Call him Scooter. He's only 5'7". The fans love him here. He's really a hide-seek guy. That height helps him because it's a big offensive line. He can hide behind them, then seek the opening. Does here, goes in, finds the crease back outside, and then he uses his speed. He's 5'7". He's a load. He's 195 pounds, but he also has that great speed that a tailback has.
Lined up in the eye on first down. Hemingway is the fullback. Go back to Bieniemy. He picks up 5, maybe 6. Barnes again on the tackle. Take away the towel. Maybe Eric got tackled with it. He says, let's get rid of this equipment. Proctor Land, 6 feet 5 inches tall, as the nose tackle. Mayfield and Evans. Evans is a good one on that defensive line.
Again, we're talking option that's almost mirrors, so they linebackers and outside folks, Chris Wilson and Bowden, have to support the outside perimeter, force everything back inside to the crease.
2nd and 4. They give it inside to Hemingway. He's near the first down yardage at the 36.
Jim, you saw Franks and Walker there on their corners, but this Oklahoma defense has talent, but it is not deep. It's thin. One advantage the Sooners have is that they run against this type of offense all the time in practice against their own offensive scheme. So they pretty much know how to react to it, but it is not one that's really deep. They recognize and react, and they run to the football extremely well.
Hemingway came up short of the first down. It's 3rd and less than a yard. David Brown is in as the extra tight end. Power eye bone. First down run by Bieniemy.
CU's all-time leading rusher. 3 touchdowns last week, 36 for his career, over 1,000 yards already. He's had 665 yards the last 4 games. These are the top rushers in the country right now, and you see where Bieniemy fits in. That's average per game. Overall, he leads the nation in total yardage.
Already over 1,000 on the season is Bieniemy. He could catch Vaughn today in that category. Here he is on first down inside the 30 and down to the 21-yard line. Terry Ray with the secondary tackle, a gain of 12.
This is what we talk about, a hide-and-seek type runner. Hides behind the big guys. There he is looking now for the crease. Finds it to the left and cuts outside. Lewinberg, Vanderpool, those guys are all throwing big blocks up there, and they're all over 6'4". They're all up close to 300 pounds, so he just hides behind them until there's an opening.
High bone offense, first down. EB to the 17-yard line. He gets a lot of work, Bieniemy. He averages over 25 rushing attempts per game. And already he's the workhorse on the opening drive. 6 carries for 40 yards. McCartney has to enjoy the matchup he's seeing right now with his offensive line against the D front of Oklahoma. 2nd and 5, again Bieniemy. The 15 is all. It'll be 3rd and about 3. Bowden and Barnes made the tackle.
You touched on this at the top of the show, Jim. This is a huge game for Bieniemy. First, Colorado needs a big day from him to win. Secondly, any shot of the Heisman depends, I think, a lot on today's national exposure. He has to have a huge day, and he's off to a quick start.
Oklahoma with a beautiful drive to open this game. 16 plays, and the Buffaloes trying to match it. 3rd and short. Here comes the pressure, and Hagan goes down all the way back at the 33-yard line. Corey Mayfield. Tim, one stat you really picked out going into this game was the number of times Hagan had been sacked, and here he loses 17 yards.
Well, he steals time, Jim. He knows he's got so much confidence in his ability that he tries to wait as long as he possibly can. 14 sacks on the year. He had only 9 all last year.
This is a 48-yard field goal attempt for Jim Harper. He's had 3 blocked this year. Up and over the line in the right direction. The kick is good. Touchdown. Was he highly recruited? Wow. His brother Mike was at Oklahoma State. Here's how he ended up, though, with the Sooners.
I don't like following any footsteps, and I want to go somewhere and start my own college career at my own university, not where my brother attended. And I was just being raised in the same high school as my brother did, in the same state, and participating in same events. We had a lot of comparison between Mike and I, and I just kind of want to go somewhere and do my own thing.
Well, here's his own thing, a touchdown as he drives the Sooners 80 yards in 16 plays. He's about to get the football for the second time. Harper's kick is a long one. Brewer just watches it sail through. And Georgia Tech, is it looking ahead to Virginia? Let's check in with Andrea.
Well, Jim, down in Atlanta after Duke pulled it within 3. Watch this incredible kickoff return by Georgia Tech. Kevin Tisdale breaks through the pack, takes it 85 yards to put the Yellow Jackets up, but Duke has answered with a field goal. Now let's go back to Boulder.
Blue Devils giving them fits. Easy week to look ahead for the Yellow Jackets.
Sure is. Next week in Charlottesville will be fun. We'll be there.
Rashid is the fullback. Brewer, the tailback, gets the carry and gets back to the line of scrimmage as Gary Howe grabbed him by the ankles.
In that first Oklahoma drive, the Sooners went 8 times in the air, 8 runs. So you ask for balance, you get it. Wasn't the same for Colorado. Hagan threw 2 passes, and then there were 9 runs. So it's more traditional, I think, right now for Colorado, and Oklahoma's mixing things up.
We heard Cale talking about his brother Mike. Mike Gundy, the quarterback at Oklahoma State, graduated a couple of years ago. All-time total offense leader in the Big 8, his older brother. 2nd and 10. Young Cale setting up a screen to Brewer. Look at Brewer go to the 30. And Thomas bumps him out at the 39.
Talking with Brewer before the game, I said, hey, Duell, how much do you weigh right now? He says, hey, I've gotten my weight down. I'm about 190, much more quicker feet now. He likes his turf. You can see the quick feet here as they sit up the screen. Come through, and there's Bickert, number 19, penetrates, but then the quick steps get around him. He doesn't break down properly and loses leverage, and then Duell just takes it down the sidelines. Interesting run.
It's his first reception on the season. Brewer, 1st and 10 from the 39. Inside to Kenyon Rashid.
That's what we were just talking about. Very balanced for Oklahoma. Colorado not as much, more traditional. Rashid, McKinley both alternating at fullback. Those 2 fullbacks for Oklahoma have run for a combination 831 yards coming into this game.
You talked about the strength of Oklahoma. They feel it's the offensive line and the fullback position with those 2. Second and 4. Brewer, nothing at all. Joel Steeds on the bottom of that pile, along with Gary Howe.
Look at the transition. We talked about Barry Switzer and now picking up the pieces and changing dramatically here, trying to find more balance and changing into the 90s with more passing. And over the years, you can see how it continues to change. 1998-20 ratio, but they want to get a little bit more balance to that, and today they have.
3rd and a long 4. Gundy fakes right, throws left, incomplete. Dion Figures cut under Arthur Guess.
Got a little aggressive, didn't he?
I'm telling you. We're in the final minute of the first quarter. 7-3 Oklahoma. This is the first punt of the game. Brad Riddell. Averaging 40 yards a punt. Look out. Fair catch by McClellan. That punt was very close to being blocked by Ronnie Bradford.
And here comes Ronnie Bradford. They're going to overload, and he comes clean. Watch number 13. Bradford now cheating up and takes the snap. Good jump. Now, if he lays out here, he gets this block. But instead, he just kind of pulled up, never really tucked. He's got to lay out, close those arms, and go after the block. It should have been blocked. But you don't get closer than that unless you get a hand on it.
So in the final minute of the first quarter, Colorado with the football for the second time. From its own 17-yard line. On the option. Hagan keeps to the 22. Mike Coates collapsed on him at the 22.
This is why Hagan is so dangerous. See the fake there in the middle, then he keeps it. He's optioning this guy, sees that finally he goes for the pitch man, cuts it back in. He's got great vision, reads extremely well. As soon as that defender cheated to his right side, he took it back inside.
2nd and 6. Bieniemy decides to go outside. That move picks up the first down near the 35-yard line. A gain of 12 for Bieniemy. He has been Colorado's offense in the first quarter. 54 yards rushing in the first for Bieniemy. He helped drive them down the field the first time for a field goal. They're on the move again with the first down as the first quarter concludes. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Oklahoma 7, Colorado 3. We'll return to Folsom Field after this message and a word from your local station.
Miles northwest of Denver sits scenic Boulder, Colorado. Folsom Field at the foot of the mountains. Colorado trails 7-3, and a talk along the sideline right now as Colorado goes back on offense and hopes to assume the lead is two things. In the option, they think the fullback can get him some yardage. Oklahoma a little weak in the middle. Second thing, free safety for Oklahoma, playing a little bit deep. They think they can throw the curl in front of them, Jim.
All right, Doc, we'll watch for that. Colorado starts the second quarter. First down from its 34-yard line. Rifles it to Sean Brown near the 40. A gain of about 5. Sean Brown starting today for the injured John Bowman. Brown has now 2 receptions. He had only 1 on the year coming in.
Jim, Colorado's been somewhat predictable. 3 backs meant run to this point in the season. 2 backs meant pass. So today with a 2-back set, they'll use it on first down, maybe second and long, and run, draws and screens. Oklahoma reads that formation, thinks pass. Colorado comes in and runs. They're just trying to change it up a little bit.
2nd and 4. Hagan falls under Terry Ray at the 43-yard line. Hey, Brian Campbell ran his block all the way into the Oklahoma bench.
Here comes Hagan down the side. Now watch, Hagan had a few words with the official after this too when he got up. Boom. Beaker just drops him. Hagan got up, started walking back, and the linesman said something to him, and he says, hey, I'm going over there. And he wouldn't let him come back and pick out some of his blockers.
3rd and 1. They go back to Bieniemy, and he scoots for the first down. Let's get another update as we head back to Andrea Joyce.
Well, Jim, it is a wild one down in Atlanta. Sean Jones keeps it, goes in 1 yard for the touchdown. 12 minutes left to play in the game, and Georgia Tech leads 38-24. And, Jim, it looks like the Yellow Jackets are getting ready to give you a good game next week.
Well, we're looking forward to going to Charlottesville, Virginia, and Georgia Tech next week. The Cavaliers, #1 in America, off this weekend.
Down to Thomas Jefferson's neck of the woods.
1st and 10. Hagan now in the area of Pritchard. John Dockery had clued us into that play a moment before. Second and 10 for the Buffaloes. Trailing 7-3, early minutes of the second quarter. Bieniemy wrapped up and leaning for 2. Stacy Dillard makes the tackle. Dillard back in the lineup for the Sooners today.
You know, Jim, I think Colorado feels that Oklahoma is cheating defensively to the outside to stop that option, so they're attacking that middle, as we've talked about so far, the soft middle with Eric Bieniemy between the tackles. So it makes the eye bone so dangerous, is that Bieniemy in the middle is just like a fullback. He's got that kind of size and strength with his legs, but he's quick.
Let's watch Hagan on 3rd and 7. Wide open. Brown inside of the 40.
Watch the inside backers. Right there. There's Wilson. Number 40's Barnes. They're pointing. They're looking to the outside. They immediately start to take the drops to the outside. And right away, the tight end is open in the middle. There's Brown. There's not a soul left in the middle except the safety. And Terry Ray had to come up and make the stop.
Sean found the seam. His 3rd catch. First down run, Bieniemy. Dragged down by Reggie Barnes after a gain of about 5. Eric Bieniemy has now claimed this season the all-time rushing lead at this school, surpassing Charlie Davis. Over 3,000 yards. It's his 2nd 1,000-yard rushing season.
Definitely a Heisman candidate, as you mentioned. He can throw himself right back. You know, Colorado has never had a Heisman Trophy winner. Well, at Notre Dame, they use them as paperweights. What have they had, 7?
7 of them, yes. Hagan calls the time as he looks down the line. 11:22 to go in the second quarter. Colorado trying to drive and take the lead. The Hilltop, Folsom Field, with the imposing Rockies to the west. What a season for Colorado. Somewhat rocky at times, especially the schedule. A tie against Tennessee. A last-second win against Stanford on a 4th down play in the 12 seconds to go. Bieniemy won it. A 1-point loss to Illinois. Came back to beat Texas. That's now an impressive win, as is the victory over Washington. The only loss for the Huskies this year.
You know, a lot of times winning and losing is closely related to the number of turnovers you have. Last year, CU was 2nd in the nation of fewest turnovers. They went unbeaten through the regular season. They have a ton this year, and they had 5 against Tennessee in the tie, 1 against Illinois in their loss.
2nd and 6 in Oklahoma territory. Keep calling his name. Bieniemy gets near the 30, setting up 3rd and 1. They've now run 21 offensive plays. Bieniemy has 12 rushing attempts.
Look at 62. This is Garton, the captain of the team. Just watch what he does here now. He's had 4 pancakes already this year. Joins in on the double team, and now all of a sudden they're just riding guys out of there. In the series before that, I think they had one that just put 2 guys on their back. Here they ride him out 5 yards. He's a senior, 6'3", 280. 26 straight starts.
3rd and 2. They go over Garten for the first down at the 25-yard line. Hemingway on the rush.
Here we go again. Here comes Garten. Big number 62 fires out, makes contact. See, you can't give him that pancake. He's just jumping on board. But the running back follows him right up in there. Lewinberg really did the work on that one. Garten jumped on top. It's like a takedown in wrestling. Holding for the pin.
First down, Buffs. The enemy. Another nice run inside of the 20 to the 17. Stacy Dillard finally tackled him.
You can't teach what Bieniemy does. I mean, that's natural. Offensive line opens up the big hole, but watch Bieniemy. There's a stutter step in here where he just waits for a block right there. Boom. Now get up through the crease and try to get down some yardage, but he just has those instincts, fast twitch muscle fibers.
James Hill is in at fullback, 2nd and 2. Hagan just dives near the 1st. Very close to the 1st at the 15. Let's get a Cornhusker update.
All right, Jim, in Ames, a 22-yard touchdown pass from Mickey Joseph to Johnny Mitchell has given Nebraska the lead over the Cyclones. Meanwhile, down in Houston, the Cougars are rolling over Arkansas in the 3rd, and Georgia Tech is leading Duke. Now, let's go back to Jim Nantz.
So the Jackets have a little room now, 21-point lead.
Your Cougars are relentless.
3rd and short and a first down by Hemingway. He's picked up the first on the last 2 3rd down plays. We'll call it the 13, a first down for the Buffaloes. Trailing 7-3 mid-second. Hagan unable to get free. Only back to the line of scrimmage. Chris Wilson on the tackle.
That's a terrific play by the weak side linebacker Wilson too. Watch number 30 now. You're looking at the secondary view. 30 scrapes down to the left, sees the commitment, knows that he's already turned his hips and his shoulders, so he's going to come upfield, closes down and makes the stop. Fine play by Wilson. He had 14 tackles last week and missed most of the 4th quarter with an ankle sprain. He's talented.
2nd and 10. The enemy runs into Wilson near the 10.
You know, the trouble is because Colorado wanted to come in and get some pass run balance. They really haven't done it. They've been running much more than they've been passing because of the success of Bieniemy. But now would be the great time to come back and pass. But they haven't set it up real well.
18th play of this drive, number 18. Can you believe it? It's 3rd and 6. Hemingway is a receiver out of his fullback position. Hagan looks his way and overthrows him. Joe Bowden pancaked Hagan after he released the football.
Came underneath. Look at Hagan, just sits in there, but he sits in again as long as he possibly can and just gets nailed. Bowden was coming, I think, untouched. Dream of shots like that as a linebacker.
Another field goal attempt for Jim Harper. 27-yard attempt. Charles Johnson is the holder. Harper is good again. 7-6. Oklahoma leading just inside of 7 minutes. This game's moving along in a hurry as they've kept it on the ground.
6 straight to those guys, and now they want to go up there, and they need this win badly. The Redskins do.
Taylor and Brewer standing at the goal line. Harper drives it. And Otis Taylor downs it 9 yards deep in the end zone. Let's go down to John Dockery.
You know, Jimmy, you look at the overload of talent here at Colorado, and it's amazing. I talked to the pro scouts here in attendance, and they said there are as many as 11 pro prospects on this Colorado team. You're going to see a couple of them now in McGee and Williams, but on offense, it's Bieniemy and Pritchard, also Vanderpool and Garton, and another 5 or so that may make it and stick in the pros next year. Incredible. Back to you guys.
They didn't always have that kind of talent at Colorado. I think Alfred Williams, number 94, is the best prospect.
He's a first rounder. That's guaranteed.
Cale Gundy, pump fake, going down the sidelines. Long is open. Touchdown, Oklahoma. About that. 80 yards. Ted Long, his first touchdown reception of the season. Lasher will attempt the point after. An 8-point lead for Oklahoma.
You know what's amazing? Colorado defense is playing on its heels. They don't know whether they're going to run. They don't know if they're going to pass. It's the pump fake now. Stops the linebacker. Secondary comes up to support. And look at that. It's no contest. He takes it right down the pipe. McLuhan had already bitten. And that's 11 passes, 11 rushes for Oklahoma.
Oklahoma leads 14-6, and it was this play. Watch the left cornerback. That's Dave McLuhan right there. His job is to bump the receiver long. He misses that bump, but the inside safety is the man who really blew it here. Tim James is supposed to cover deep outside. He's looking in the backfield. He bites on the fake. He's up short, and watch it right here. Take a look at the left cornerback, McLuhan. He stops. He misses the bump. He could have helped his safety. Meanwhile, the safety is inside, biting on it. Long off and running for the touchdown for Oklahoma.
Doc, you know what they were doing? They were in a 2-deep, 4-under man, so they were playing man coverage underneath. And then when James did bite, as you said, he wasn't covering his deep side. They cocked on the hashes, the two safeties, and never got back to cover deep.
Riddell gets all of this one. Oklahoma has played football for 95 years. There have only been 6 pass plays longer than that one. Folsom Field in Boulder. And the visitors have come in here and taken a 14-6 lead. Freshman quarterback Cale Gundy rushed for the first score and threw for the second. Jim Nance along with Tim Brandt and John Dockery. Fake to Bieniemy. Hagan's coming back long. Oh, and the man had his defender beat. Rico Smith. Darnell Walker was on the coverage. Again, Gundy on a 16-play drive to open it. Scored from 6 yards out. Then a field goal by Harper on Colorado's first possession. Colorado drove again but could not get it across, settling for the field goal. And then on the first play of Oklahoma's next possession, 80 yards. 2nd and 10 Buffaloes. Bieniemy dances around just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Oklahoma starting to mix his defenses now, giving a lot of different looks to Hagan. That time they brought the blitz, so they were playing man on one side, zone on the other, and they tried to get up to Bieniemy as quickly as possible, and it worked.
3rd and 10. Hagan knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Stacy Dillard. Joe Bowden was in that area too. Big number 77, a nose tackle, 6 feet 7 inches tall.
He missed the last 2 games with a turf toe. They moved him from nose guard over to left tackle, and they're getting more support. They're slanting, they're driving with their blocks, they're staying with them, and then getting off just in timing that enough to go up and use that height to knock it back down.
Tom Ruin is Colorado's punter. He was the nation's best in '89. Due to injury, his average has decreased this year. Otis Taylor falls on his own fumble. Now time to present the Toyota Leadership Award, chosen by the coaching and faculty staffs from the 2 schools. Today's game team leadership winners are Mike Sawatsky of Oklahoma. Sawatsky, a 3.59 grade point average in business management. Speaks with local youth groups. And Jim Hansen, aerospace engineering major. Look at that grade point average, 3.99. Dundee. That's the play he scored on earlier. This time nets only a yard. Toyota donates a check in the amount of $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund.
That's pretty indicative of how Colorado has used the run and eaten up the clock, where Oklahoma now has gone to that pass. Point that should be made. We talked about Larry Coker, the new offensive coordinator. He's had great success against Colorado when he was at Oklahoma State. Matter of fact, his offense scored 100 points in the last 3 years against this defense.
2nd and 10. Brewer for a loss of a yard. Gary Howe, a name we're calling quite often. Senior from Spencer, Iowa. Transferred from Drake to the Buffaloes.
His teammates kid him. He's short. He's got a gut. Doesn't look like a football player. He could be the most underrated player there.
3rd and 11. Right side to Brewer. Deion Figures had him. He got away. Now Tim James holds on, and Figures gets back up to help out. Short of the first. Brad Riddell will punt to the dangerous Dave McCluen, who has run 2 punts back this year for touchdowns. One of 55 yards against Tennessee and a 90-yard touchdown run back against Kansas. Another rush on Riddell. And another fair catch called by McCluen. As we return to the Dockster.
Thank you, Jim. You're talking about the Toyota Award and Jim Hansen, and he has that 3.98 grade point average. He's aerodynamics. You know what he's trying to do? He's trying to get him mastered in fluid dynamics in the hopes of getting a Rhodes Scholarship when he's through here, much like Joe Romig. Remember him back in the 60s, an offensive lineman did. So who said that college football players weren't rocket scientists?
You know, Doc, you might wonder, how do you get a 3.986 GPA? That's all A's and 1 A-. I wonder who the spoil sport was on the faculty staff.
He's been spending more times with those guys that split the atoms than he has on his football field. Good student, capable of both, though. That's impressive.
What does Colorado need to start doing here offensively? A little lackluster at this point, trailing by 8.
I still think they need to pass more. You know, they came in with that intention, thought the passing could be successful, but they haven't done it. They've been using Bieniemy And Bieniemy's had success, but Hagen's 3 of 8, 35 yards. That's not going to get it.
Here he throws. Incomplete. Went back to Sean Brown, who has caught all of Hagen's completions today, all 3 of them.
Colorado has thrown for over 100 yards in 5 straight wins. Quarterbacks are hitting 55% of their passes. That's a big improvement. But Hagen right now is struggling with it. And the reason is I don't think Oklahoma is as much unsure of itself defensively as Colorado has been.
Charles E. Johnson in as a receiver on 2nd and 10. Batted down by Corey Mayfield.
Hagen has not moved since throwing that pass. He's standing in the same spot. He's frustrated now. Watch what happens. He'll roll to the right. Never looks off the guy after the fake. He's locked onto him right now. Throws. And again, he throws low and just has it knocked down. As a matter of fact, that hit him in the helmet, not even in the hands.
Frustration on 5 consecutive incompletions. Under 4 minutes before the half. 14-6 Oklahoma. Wafting it up and over the head of Pritchard.
When's the last time you heard boos like that in this stadium?
Short memories, I'll tell you that. 1984, this program went 1-10. And the last 2 years, Colorado has a cumulative mark of the 2nd best record in college football. But they're unhappy with the offense.
Well, and they live vicariously through these players too, and the success they've had. They know that this is an important win for them, and so they want to get something generated here.
Otis Taylor mishandled the last punt but fell on it. Tom Ruin to punt. Not a good one. Almost into the first row. And that will set up Oklahoma in Colorado territory. Only 23 yards on the punt. Next week, Georgia Tech travels to Virginia. We'll be bringing that game before the nation. Sean Moore, you're looking at him on the left side of your screen. All the pregame activities get started. It's a nice picture. Andrea and Mike Francesa. All get started at 2 o'clock. Gundy will run with it. Butts heads at the 41 with Tim James.
Oklahoma player a little bit slow getting up. This is the best field position for Oklahoma in this ball game. So you've got them leading 14-6. You've got time expiring here in the first half with 2:52 remaining. They've got great field position. They come away from a score here, carry that into the locker room, and that'll be a big, big asset for the Sooners.
It would be obviously extremely damaging to Colorado having trouble with its passing game. 2:30 to go in the first half. 2nd and 5. Kenyon Rashid across the 40 to the 38. Now a flag comes down as a little push it and shoving was going on across the way.
That frustration that Hagen had, I think, is contagious.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the defense.
See, he's going to call that on figures. And anytime you're working against a quarterback, Gundy was there, Irvin was there, and because Gundy was in the neighborhood and figures got caught, they're going to move it back against Colorado, and that hurts. They're all getting frustrated now.
Oklahoma has a first down at the Colorado 24-yard line. Sooners lead it 14-6. 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Gundy. Finally goes down at the 22. Little play action move and wanted to quickly go across the middle, I guess, to the tight end Cooper.
Exactly right, and it was a good decision by Gundy, because then he tucked it away, because the free safety Greg Thomas locked up on the tight end. When he locked up, he was covered. Gundy packed it away and gained some positive yardage out of it.
And Oklahoma has called time. He talked to the players about it.
I think as far as the atmosphere and everything, it's not that much different. I mean, I think now everyone is much more aware of the the fishbowl that we are in, and that anything that is done or said is going to be magnified 1,000 times at least. And so I think a lot of the players are a little bit more careful about the things they do, and they realize that they're accountable for their actions.
It's been rather confusing. It's seeing the things that happen around here, you don't really expect, whatever happened to you. So it makes you sit back and think and wonder about life, and it helps you to mature a lot in a way that I didn't think, I would. I thought, well, I'd come to school and I'd learn about school books and I'd learn about football and how to play the game. But being with the events that have happened, I've learned a lot about just life in general, and a lot about myself and the kind of person I want to be and the kind of people I want to be around.
Gary Gibbs has tried to clean up Oklahoma land. One of his tailbacks, however, was suspended this week. Ike Lewis on an alcohol-related charge. 2nd and 9, Sooners. Gundy only to the 20. Tackled by Tim James. Ike Lewis, one of the leading ball carriers for the Sooners, suspended indefinitely by Coach Gibbs, but that's been the lone incident this football season for Oklahoma.
But I think most people think reputation is reality, and the perception is it has not been a good program, has been guilty in many cases, and I think this sets them back dramatically.
3rd down 6, 1:15 left in the first half. Low pass incomplete to Corey Warren. These pass a one-hopper. As the replay confirms, R.D. Lasher from Plano, Texas, will attempt a field goal of 37 yards. It's blocked and picked up by Bradford.
Low trajectory. Pressure comes up the middle, and because the kick doesn't get up quickly, Greg Thomas gets a hand on it. Look at Thomas, the safety, up and over. When the premium's on distance and you're trying to kick a longer field goal, you lose some height. This time he kept it low, and Thomas got it.
From the 34, with a minute to go before the half. Hagan was faking long, and now here he is, free in the open. His longest carry of the game, 18 yards, and the Buffs are in Oklahoma territory at the 48.
Big turnaround. Lasher was kicking low in pregame when we were down on the field.
Hemingway in a slot to the near side. Hagan finds another opening and another first down.
When we were talking about the mental aspect of the game and how Oklahoma would have the momentum and the major advantage at halftime has changed now dramatically. The crowd's back in it, and Colorado's back in it.
Colorado will have a timeout. It was called by Oklahoma.
Hagan had missed 6 passes in a row, 6 incompletions before he hit that one. That one stops the clock with 33 seconds.
That play will not count.
Before the snap.
Trying to settle down that defense. Oklahoma uses its last timeout. Tell you what, Bill McCartney's team is a touchdown and a 2 away from tying it at halftime. Able to bring you inside the huddle at Folsom Field. 33 seconds remaining in the second quarter. First down for the Buffaloes from the 12-yard line. Rico Smith to the left, Pritchard to the right. Hagan throws it at the last second. They're going to say it was not a pass attempt. His foot touched the out-of-bounds stripe. It's a loss of yardage.
Mayfield really tagged him, too. Let him know he was in the neighborhood. Wants Hagan to think the next time he comes around that corner. Look at this now. Here he is using sidelines, inside out. Mayfield comes up and just takes him. Clean hit, legal hit. Oklahoma player down in the end zone.
You know, no.
We've had an official now overrule it as an incompletion. Darnell Walker is the injured Sooner. So instead of a loss of 7, Colorado will go back to the original line of scrimmage, the 12.
That's a big blow for the Oklahoma defense. Walker could be the best cover guy back there. The coaches say he's the hardest worker. Real fast, junior college transfer, locks on a receiver, and has a lot of confidence in his coverage. So you take him out now, and you lose a lot.
They bring in Greg DeQuazy, a junior from Midwest City, Oklahoma, Cale Gundy's hometown. Belser is a starter at strong safety.
Now DeQuazy does have experience, Jim. You know, he's the nickel guy. Plays all 4 defensive backfield positions. He's very versatile.
28 seconds before the half. Looking quickly, now a man's open, and it's a touchdown to Pritchard. But, you know, some oranges on the scene.
Colorado wants to take a timeout. Mac's going to call them all over and talk about the 2-point conversion.
Full lamb naked. I'm on 1. If you have an overhang, call a timeout. Hold it. All right, tell the whole
It's going to have an overhang.
That's stacked. We don't know. You hear me?
Here's the touchdown to Pritchard. They lose Walker on that left side. That's Hagan's right side, so he goes right back into that area. Belser gets turned around, and they hit Pritchard right in the corner of the end zone.
And a happy birthday to Mike Pritchard. The 2 would tie it. You saw Gary Barnett on the headphones with Bill McCartney leaning in. Barnett is the quarterback coach. In constant communication upstairs with Jerry DiNardo, the offensive coordinator.
Is he also going to call timeout? It's over.
Here's their attempt to tie the game. he took him down. James Good.
One of the Oklahoma goals coming into this year was get more consistency from the defensive ends. So Good has 4 sacks on the year. He's having a terrific season. He's finally healthy after being banged up, and he makes a big play there to stop the 2.
Good job. Job, J1. Damn good job, baby.
Yeah, it was.
Was a good job. I tell you, he was the one man out there with Darian Hagan, and he didn't budge an inch.
You know what's interesting about that too is Good 6'4", 240 pounds. Hagan's only 5'10", 185, so you give the advantage to Hagan with his quickness. It's one-on-one, so what you want to do is you want to keep your outside leverage. You want to break down, never lose that leverage, and then just take him down. Try to get a hand on him somehow. Watch how he plays this inside out. Breakdown position, tuck the tail, still playing it inside out. Use the sideline as your ally because you know you've got help coming from the sideline. He can only go so far. String it out as far as you can and then take him down. It's a big time play.
.24 seconds remaining in this first half. Andrea and Mike coming up with scores and highlights. Little squib kick recovered by Colorado. Greg Lindsay on the recovery as they caught the Sooners backpedaling.
Watch this. I don't think anybody expected it. Looks like Coates comes up, tries to cover it, but it hits him, bounces off, he gets lost. So Coates now can't find it. Goes 10 yards, it's anybody's ball. Big play by Colorado. It's a gutsy call by McCartney.
22 seconds and 1 timeout to work with. Hagan is sacked. He'll need to use the timeout here. Scott Evans brought him down. 14 seconds left as the timeout is utilized. Got to figure 15 to 20 yards. A sideline route could set up a potential field goal that would give him the lead. That leads us right into the NFL today. Tomorrow at 12:30. Greg and Terry along with Leslie and Pat. And that sets up a doubleheader day for us early. Here's the lineup. Many will see Minnesota at Green Bay. Boy, the Vikings need a win now. This team is really down. And late, the key one to most of the nation will be Washington against the Giants. Joe Gibbs looking for the win tomorrow. Gary Gibbs of Oklahoma trying to hold on right here before the half.
The last thing Gary Gibbs wanted to see was an onside kick when you're not expecting it, especially to a redshirt freshman like Coates. And once he went after it and covered, just totally lost the ball.
So 14 seconds and no timeouts. Got a sideline man. I don't know if it's deep enough. Hemingway at the 42. The clock continues to run.
And that'll do it.
They're going to say Hemingway did not get out before the knee stayed in bounds. It's an Oklahoma lead. It's a good one, as promised. And now let's send you to New York and our own Andrea Joyce. Take it away.
All right, Jim, and in another Big 8 matchup in Ames, Iowa, Nebraska is leading Iowa State 30-10 in the third quarter. And here's the play that helped break it open for Nebraska. Leotis Flowers, a 70-yard touchdown run, his second touchdown run of the day. He's had 3 so far this afternoon. A great afternoon for Leotis Flowers. And we will be back with more scores and highlights after a message and a word from your local station.
Really, folks, to this point in the season, we have not delved into the Heisman talk.
But I think now's the time, Tim. And going into this contest, we discussed this was a game where Eric Bieniemy had to gain some Heisman momentum. How do you think he's doing?
I think he's doing great. I mean, in that regard, he's gained 80 yards, and he has been the main thrust for the Colorado team today. I mean, you take away the blocked field goal attempt by Oklahoma and then the onside kick, and Colorado's trailing big at this particular point. But I think Ty Detmer's performance in that Miami game early on, with so much depending on exposure for the Heisman candidates, I think that's still ingrained in the memories of all the Heisman voters. But I think next week, Sean Moore has a chance on national television for the University of Virginia to win or lose the Heisman Trophy.
I think Craig Erickson last week with a loss to Notre Dame really eliminated himself from Heisman contention.
I agree. I think Ismail helped his cause with his performance last week, but I don't think that right now he is a viable candidate. I think right now it is the two quarterbacks, Moore and Detmer, and Bieniemy's coming up quick.
I see it the same way. And next week's the week for not only Virginia, but for Sean Moore as well. We'll look forward to being there. In the meantime, the Big 8 showdown here between Oklahoma and Colorado. And as far as numbers in the first half, Colorado with the edge rushing wise because of Bieniemy, and that of course falls right in line with time of possession.
When's the last time you saw Oklahoma with 169 passing yards, only 44 rushing? It's been a long time.
We'll return to Folsom Field after this message and a word from your local station.
Balance in the first half.
Into the Heisman talk. But I think now's the time, Tim. And going into this contest, we discussed this was a game where Eric Bieniemy had to gain some Heisman momentum. How do you think he's doing?
I think he's doing great. I mean, in that regard, he's gained 80 yards, and he has been the main thrust for the Colorado team today. I mean, you take away the blocked field goal attempt by Oklahoma and then the onside kick, and Colorado's trailing big at this particular point. But I think Ty Detmer's performance in that Miami game early on, with so much depending on exposure for the Heisman candidates, I think that's still ingrained in the memories of all the Heisman voters. But I think next week, Sean Moore has a chance on national television for the University of Virginia to win or lose the Heisman Trophy.
I think Craig Erickson last week with a loss to Notre Dame really eliminated himself from Heisman contention.
I agree. I think Ismail helped his cause with his performance last week, but I don't think that right now he is a viable candidate. I think right now it is the two quarterbacks, Moore and Detmer, and Bieniemy's coming up quick.
I see it the same way. And next week's the week for not only Virginia, but for Sean Moore as well. We'll look forward to being there. In the meantime, the Big 8 showdown here between Oklahoma and Colorado. And as far as numbers in the first half, Colorado with the edge rushing wise because of Bieniemy, and that of course falls right in line with time of possession.
When's the last time you saw Oklahoma with 169 passing yards, only 44 rushing? It's been a long time.
We'll return to Folsom Field after this message and a word from your local station.
Balance in the first half. Did they do something you didn't expect?
Yeah, they've run a few plays that have been more, in my opinion, gimmick plays than really what they do. And they've mixed in just enough of their offense to be successful. I think that if we don't give them big plays and we make them earn it, that our defense can take over the game.
Okay, Coach.
That was earlier. John Dockery with Bill McCartney. McCartney referring to the 80-yard score indirectly. The pass play to Ted Long for a touchdown by Oklahoma. Brad Riddell gets the third quarter started. Watch out for Mike Pritchard. Mike Pritchard to the 20. And out to the 35-yard line. You could call Mike Pritchard the Rocket of the Rockies. He's been the big play man, kind of like Raghib Ismail. And really, you start comparing numbers for Mike Pritchard. Look at him.
He's got more rushing yards, receiving yards, and return yards are just a little bit shy of what the Rocket has.
Pritchard averages almost 14 yards per carry and 27 yards per reception. He sets up the Buffs in good position. Bieniemy out to the 40-yard line. Reggie Barnes hit him first.
One of the things that Colorado wanted to do today was move Pritchard around, put him in the slot, making the split end, also put him back in the two-back scheme in the backfield. And they haven't really moved him around as much as we had anticipated.
Pritchard shaken up. 2nd and 7 for the Buffs. Inside, Hemingway about a yard shy of the first. Stacy Dillard brought him to the turf.
Colorado's been heavy run, not as much pass. This is where they've been running. 6 to the left side for 55 yards, middle, which they just did, went 40. And on the right side, they've only gone 21 yards. We did see Hemingway run that time up the middle. He had 57 carries coming into this game. 20 of those came in the last 2 weeks, so they're starting to use Hemingway more.
David Brown in as the extra tight end on 3rd and 1. The enemy. This will be close. A convincing tackle by Chris Wilson.
I think he had just enough. It was a good play by Wilson. Sporting News listed him as one of the 3 best linebackers in the nation, one of the Butkus Award candidates, but he makes a pretty good play here. Coming up, and bingo. Watch him read. Here's his key. Step up, no false steps. Gets through traffic, slides, finds the ball carrier, and takes him down.
It was enough, Tim, for the first. And now Hagan looking for Pritchard, who's back in there. And Pritchard lets the football go through his hands. Darian Hagan was the leading returning vote getter from last year's Heisman balloting. Top 4 guys ahead of him. He finished 5th. All moved on, and boy, did he take a hit here from Mayfield.
He continues to take his hits. He's been banged up most of the year.
2nd and 10. Scooting into Oklahoma territory, but about 3rd and 4 coming up. Scott Evans on the tackle.
Let me just expound a little bit about Darian Hagan, because it has been a frustrating year. He's had nagging injuries, sprained finger, shoulder sprain, partial separation of the shoulder, ankle sprain. He gets hit a lot. He can throw right-handed or left-handed, threw a 7-yarder in one of the games and completed it left-handed, but he says, I won't be doing that anymore. Showed us the bump on his shoulder where it was partially separated. Just now starting to get healthy again.
He faces 3rd and 4. Wanted to go quickly right. Evans after him. Pass incomplete. Intended for Hemingway. Well, the OU defense holds, so Colorado and Tom Ruin will punt. 48-yarder and a 23-yarder in the first half for Ruin. Taylor awaits at the 10. Got this up there high for the coverage team. Fair catch called at the 13. 35-yard punt. We'll see Cale Gundy and the Oklahoma Sooners on offense for the first time in the second half when we come back. Oklahoma leading as Cale Gundy has run for a touchdown and thrown for one as well. In fact, he has 169 yards passing in this contest. First 2 quarters. That's impressive. Young man who threw for 7,000 yards in high school and 53 touchdowns. Coming out firing for the second half. Or will he? No, he goes down by Gary Howe. Joel, Steed, and Howe.
Pressure coming up the middle, but I'm going to tell you who really made this play was Chad Brown. Now, this is the pressure that comes and gets Cale Gundy. But Gundy was looking for the tight end. His tight end was locked up with Chad Brown. He couldn't get it off. Consequently, the pressure came from Steed and Howe right up the pipe. That's a coverage sack.
2nd and 21. Out of the end zone, incomplete. Deion Figures was reaching up on the coverage. Corey Warren was the receiver.
See, they're playing in the danger zone now. That was a dangerous pass for a freshman. Stepping back in the end zone, he had to look right, check off, then go to his left side to his secondary receiver. All the time, the pressure was coming from Alfred Williams and McGee. He's lucky he didn't get sacked for a safety.
What do you think he'll do here on 3rd and 21?
The way they've been going, you'd think they're going to pass. But they're still in that danger zone. They need room to punt it out of here.
Hold on a minute. Flags down. That was Brewer on the run. But I thought I saw movement off the right side of that Oklahoma offensive line.
We have dead ball. False start. The offense. Still 3rd.
Take them half the distance to the goal line, and it'll be 3rd and 23 from the 2.
Okay, so that moves them back even more. Last call was a good one because we said the way things have been going, they have shown pass and you expected pass, so they came with a draw. Didn't work. They made a mental error. Got penalized. Now they're backed up even more.
At the last second, Ted Long comes in to replace Otis Taylor. See a little gimp in Gundy's walk. Run it, fullback, McKinley. Out to the 8.
Smart football. Just bang it out, get some room for your punter, and let him kick it out of here.
Tell you, Gundy is favoring his right leg as he exits the field. Brad Riddell will punt. Oklahoma's been very close to having one blocked by this Colorado special teams. Boy, what a punt by Riddell. McClellan watches it bounce at his 35 and die at the 31-yard line. 61 yards on the punt. Have you ever seen a more penetrating blue sky? Just gorgeous out here. More than a mile above sea level. And Folsom Field, Boulder, Colorado. Still some leaves on the trees here. Everyone around these parts getting ready for a thing they call the mall crawl tonight.
I understand you're going to be a part of that.
Yeah, I don't know who to go as tonight. They're shutting off traffic into the Boulder area. Just too many folks have come up there in the last for the mall crawl, which is a Halloween party. It always occurs the Saturday prior to Halloween.
Walked by a storefront this morning here in downtown Boulder, and they've taken everything out of the big window and put a coffin in there, some black drapes. Getting eerie around here in Boulder.
Might be a scary moment or two left in this game. 14-12, the visitors lead the home team. Bieniemy breaking free. Bieniemy to the 50. Look out! Eric Bieniemy in a foot race. Touchdown, Colorado! And the Buffs are going to attempt a two-point conversion. 18-14 Colorado. They have to stop Colorado from approaching the line because some oranges are on the field.
Somebody threw out a Nerf football too. Oh, what an explosion through the line that was.
The enemy goes over 100. Is at 155 now on the game. 69 yards on that one. Now for the 2. Hagan backs up. Looking, firing, and incomplete. Hemingway could have had it. Charles Franks put a hit on him. Watch the scooter.
Look at the block he gets from Ariel Solomon. Big number 76 just drives Scott Evans right out of there. And here comes Bieniemy. Everybody talks about his excellent speed, but see, he even has better vision. Peripherally, he sees tacklers coming, instinctively feels the pursuit, just cuts away, and then explodes.
Came off the field and got on the phones. It didn't appear to be much, and then his ankle or his lower leg was bothering him. There's no official report now, but momentarily he looked all right, but obviously he's in pain right now. They're taking him off in the cart, and that is a severe blow to Oklahoma. We'll follow up on this. Back to you, Jim.
You know, Doc, he stayed in for 2 plays after the sack, and you could see a little limp in anguish for Gundy. He tried to fight through it. Now Steve Collins will quarterback the Sooners. Harper. This one will be returned. It's Brewer. Only to the 11.
Special teams coverage. Very few teams do it as well, if not better, than Colorado. They've always ranked high in the nation in coverage. Again, special teams rise to the occasion, make the big play here. So now the attention goes to Steve Collins. 5-1 as a starter. Missed 6 games last year with a broken finger. Option game, bootleg type guy. You won't see as much passing out of Collins, I don't believe.
Let's give John Kanazich the special teams tackle, and here he is, Steve Collins. He started the first 5 games at quarterback for Oklahoma this year. And he's going to lose yardage. No, he gets away. How about that move? He escaped Canavis McGee back near the goal line.
That's 2 times McGee's had the opportunity to take the quarterback for a loss, and he's lost him because he didn't wrap his arms. His high school coach at Houston's Wheatley High School was Kenny Houston, one of the best in the pros at wrapping his arms, making tackles. He doesn't wrap here. Collins gets away, gets positive yardage out of it, and brings up now 2nd and whatever, 6.
2nd and 5, a long 5. Option left, Collins not getting away from Alfred Williams. We've seen the 2 noted linebackers from Colorado in on the last 2 plays. McGee let him get away, but he's had some good ones today. McGee and Williams, they both hail from Houston. And both are in the finals for the Lombardi Award, along with offensive lineman Joe Garton. Amazingly, 3 of the 12 finalists are from Colorado for that prestigious award.
Summarize what they do basically, and I'm talking about both Williams and McGee. They just read keys so quickly, squeeze down, and just take away all creases. Tremendous assets for this defense.
3rd and 3. Taylor joins him in the backfield. Rashid and Brewer. Pitch to Brewer. Look at him go to the 30. Tim James runs him down at the 42 of Colorado. '40-yard run for Duell Brewer.
And that was an outstanding read on the option by Collins. He'll come down. Look at the end. Commits right now. Boom. Get it outside. Everybody's inside. Now you got the lead blocker. There he is. Great downfield blocks. That just opened it up. And he got the big gainer. But Corey Warren, number 2, threw him a great block in the secondary.
Set up now at the Colorado 41-yard line. Rashid to the 37.
You know, the Sooners needed that play badly, too. Since the first quarter, you take away that 80-yard touchdown that you mentioned, they had 17 yards total offense, so they needed to come up with something that could regenerate that offensive surge they had early in the ball game. First pitch to the halfback all day.
2nd and 6. There's Brewer again. Coming up 2 yards shy of the first. Beekert on the tackle.
Watch the down the line pursuit here by the defense. But again, Collins, see, he reads number 96, the defensive end, and sees once he's inside, get it outside quickly to the tailback. Pursuit shut that play from being another big gainer. But Collins now 2 quick reads on Kanivis McGee, number 96.
Colorado has held its last 3 opponents under 100 yards rushing, but Oklahoma's about to eclipse that mark. 3rd and 2. They're stuffed. Short of the first. Rashid had the football inside. They will not measure. 4th and less than a yard. Quickly now to John Dockery.
Jimmy, quickly, an injury update on Cale Gundy. It's not his leg, but rather his groin muscle. He pulled it. The feeling along the Oklahoma sideline is that we will not see him for the rest of the day.
Collins will go the rest of the way. 4th and less than a yard. Collins keeps. Collins has the first. Look out. Collins inside of the 20. A nice run. And a block by Adrian Cooper to help set him free. Steve Collins.
You hate to see a player get injured like Cale Gundy, but I think it has actually helped the Oklahoma offense right now because the Colorado defense had really settled in to what he does best, pass and run. But then you bring in Collins, and right away Collins is reading the end. He's pitched twice to the tailback. Here he had a great fake up the middle, got the block on the corner, and took it up himself.
First down for Oklahoma, mid-3rd.
Now, I don't think that was a Bomarewski, but the ball was on the ground. And Sawatsky got it back. I think it was just a fumble.
I'm still looking for the football.
When Sawatsky gets on it, you're not going to find it. He's 6'2", 72.
I looked everywhere. I looked for the end zone.
Watch the ball. All right, it hit Collins' hands there, but now it goes right back to the ground, and Sawatsky comes over. See, here comes Sawatsky.
Officials call a time. It's actually credited to Oklahoma. The Sooners call a time. Trying to drive and take the lead back from the Buffaloes.
Over the top, all right? Don't go to quarterback. So you want to take a pitch? Yeah. Run that lead out. Try to squeeze the alley wide. Okay. Only on unbalanced. Unbalanced, yeah. Now you'll go to quarterback the other way, all right? Okay. Only if it comes. I got pitch, right? On that one when the quarterback ducked it under. I didn't see that.
All right, you know what they're talking about. McGee has taken the quarterback the last 2 times. He's talking to Figures and Thompson and James to get them involved. They've got to take that pitch man right now out of the secondary.
2nd and 10 play. Collins pitches at the last minute. There's Alfred Williams. Loss of 6.
Twice the pitch man came free for Oklahoma. They had big gains. This time after a quick alignment And readjustment, they've got the pitch man covered. And look who it is. Probably the best on that defense. Big 8 Defensive Player of the Year, Alfred Williams.
With all due respect to many of the great defenders at Miami and Notre Dame, Alfred Williams is the best player I've seen in college football this year on defense. 3rd and 16. Kanavis McGee this time.
This is just speed and pursuit. Backside, left your screen. Number 96 is McGee. Chases him all the way across the field and makes the tackle and sets up the field goal attempt.
Eric Fultz will snap it back to Riddell. Lasher's kick is on the way. Looking real good because it is good. It's now a 1-point lead for Colorado. 42-yard field goal by R.D. Lasher. Tomorrow on the NFL Today, 12:30, Greg and Terry will be joined by Pat and Leslie will have a report on Dexter Manley, who is petitioning to be reinstated into the NFL. You want to check in for that one. The last word before kickoff. And at 1 o'clock, these games will kick. Minnesota and Green Bay, Philadelphia and Dallas. Cowboys with 3 wins this year, and Detroit against the Saints. Late, Washington Giants is the headliner with Chicago at Phoenix and the Bucks at San Diego.
Washington has made it known, too. They don't want Dexter Manley back. As a matter of fact, the league can't even make a decision on that by rule until mid-November. 1-year anniversary of when he was suspended for life.
Darian Hagan. He knows he'll have to generate some more points. That 1-point lead, I'm not sure that will hold. And a lot of football to go. 5 minutes left, 3rd quarter. And Colorado will begin this drive from its 20.
Well, the complexion of this game has changed dramatically. As the Colorado offense comes on, the defense is the one that's really gotten Colorado into this thing. Cale Gundy goes out. There goes Oklahoma's passing game. They shut down the fullbacks, and now they've adjusted to the pitch on the Oklahoma team, and the Oklahoma offense is stymied. Consequently, now the Colorado offense has started to generate some excitement.
Pritchard in motion. The enemy with the carry. Back into the secondary and tackled at the 32 as an official goes down.
Guard, open it up. Colorado felt that Oklahoma was soft in the middle. They run a little trap here, just bring it straight up the middle, and Bieniemy's, there's no better. There is none better than Bieniemy running up the middle.
Chuck Snowden replaces Bieniemy on this play at tailback. A freshman from here in Boulder. Inside handoff, Hemingway, and a flag on the field. Tackled by Stacy Dillard. Colorado's accustomed to being in close games. The first 6 contests this year came down to the final minute, and some the final seconds and beyond.
Of illegal procedure on the offense. They only had 6 men in the line of scrimmage.
Bill McCartney and his bunch still smarting somewhat by the negative reaction to their 5th down win at Missouri.
Jim, I've been outspoken about the 5-down Colorado win over Missouri. It's been well documented, but the result, the carryover of that situation, has been a heavy burden for Bill McCartney, who's still overwhelmed by the mail, the criticism, the personal attacks. I think that man right there is severely scarred by it all and will carry that for a long, long time. know, regardless of whose fault it was or what happened, that was an embarrassment for the Big 8 and for college football.
1st and 15. The enemy back in there and hit by Franks at the 31-yard line. One thing, a result of the 5th down fiasco, Colorado has had 3 weeks this year where it's won a football game and dropped in the ratings, and they figure it's completely attributed to the whole Missouri affair. Colorado is ranked 10th in the country coming into this game.
Hey, Bieniemy will do anything to get ahead. That means stepping on your own guy. If he gets in the way, hey, I'm going to step on your face. I'm going to get over you, but I'm getting that extra yard.
Got a nice spring right off the face guard of Hemingway.
He's tough.
Quarterback draw, and Hagan only gets back to the line of scrimmage on 2nd and 10. Tom Backus and Stacy Dillard were right there to meet him.
I want to go back to something we talked about in the first half. Oklahoma felt strongly, or Colorado did rather, that Oklahoma was cheating to the outside, trying to take away the perimeter, trying to take the option on the outside. Consequently, the Buffaloes went to attacking the soft middle with Bieniemy between the tackles, and that's really made the difference in their rushing attack.
3rd down 10. They brought out Hemingway from the fullback spot to the receiver here at the bottom of your screen. What a tackle by Reggie Barnes. He drops Hagan for a loss, and the Sooners will get the football back.
We talked about Barnes earlier, right here. No false steps. He will read his key, which is right here with Hagan, and he's going right now. No false steps, coming on the blitz, track him down. That's a big-time play. You got to like that. He never hesitates at all. That's his 12th tackle of the day. He's very decisive.
Tom Ruin. Another shank. That's his 2nd today. Only 25 yards for Tom Ruin. And let's go to John Dockery.
You know, Jim, I would tell you a very human story. See O.C. Oliver along the sidelines there, but for fate might be another Eric Bieniemy. We came out of Texas. He was all everything. A 10-3 100-meter sprinter. An incredible athlete out of Texas. A freshman here, he broke the freshman rushing record. Then 2 knee injuries, lost some of his speed and quickness, went to defense. Now he's just happy to be on the squad and every so often contributing to special teams. A very human story.
Very nice story. We saw him try to pep up Tom Ruin after the poor punt. 1st and 10, Sooners from their 46-yard line. Collins keeps and gets to the 49. One other note about O.C. Oliver. That freshman year, he set the Colorado freshman rushing record and finished as the runner-up in the Big 8 as the newcomer of the year. 2nd to Mike Gundy of Oklahoma State, whose younger brother opened up at quarterback today for the Sooners.
Darius Oliver, named OC.
That's how you get OC out of that? Darius. 2nd and 7. And Collins trying to fight near the 1st down yardage, will be a yard shy. Brian Diet on the tackle.
Air gets a little bit thin up here, 5,000 feet.
You'd think the Buffs would be accustomed to that.
Like a security blanket.
3rd and a yard to go. 1st down, McKinley. Big fullback hurdling straight ahead inside of the 40.
This is what we were talking about earlier, how things changed when Gundy went out, Collins came in. You can see how the play calling has changed. More runs, obviously, with Collins has yet to throw a pass. And at first, that really caught Colorado off guard. They didn't adjust to it, but now they've made some adjustments.
1st down play. Here's the pitch to Brewer. And Brewer's dropped for a loss.
I have a hunch that Brewer may have thrown off the pitch the way he was running.
He sure bellied deep.
Of course, this threw the whole thing into disarray.
Well, we'll never know because he never even had a chance there. It was thrown too far out in front of him. He made a smart thing. If he was going to throw, he just tucked it away and protected the football.
Second down and 20 to go. Final seconds of the third quarter. It's a 1-point Colorado lead. Now Collins looking to throw. Man is open. Taylor at the 30. Taylor to the 20 and out of bounds with 1 second remaining in the third quarter. 29 yards on the pass play. I tell you, if you grow up with the name Otis Taylor, you've got to be a wide receiver. And a good one at that.
I enjoyed watching him down on the field in warm-ups. He was just laughing, having a good time, very loose, working hard, trying to get ready for the game, but you couldn't tell there was any pressure on him whatsoever.
Might add, no relation to the Kansas City Chief great. First down from the 20. Collins down the line, now pitches to Brewer. No gain. Dave McCluen with a sure-handed tackle. That's the end of the third quarter with the score Colorado 18, Oklahoma 17. Our coverage will continue after this message and a word from your local station. Colorado, how did we get there? Well, total yards, the edge slightly to the Sooners. Their starting quarterback, Cale Gundy, out with a groin pull, replaced by Steve Collins, who's moving the team. The enemy looks really strong. And Colorado blocked the field goal right before the half. That was a turning point, in fact.
You know, the enemy's going to go over 200 yards today.
You can see it. Jim Nance along with Tim Brandt and John Dockery. Andrea Joyce and Mike Francesa back in New York. 2nd and 10 play for Oklahoma. Collins now pitches. Brewer. Brewer dragged down from behind by Chad Brown. A gain of 6. David Klingler threw 7 touchdown passes in that Houston victory today. Here's a big third down play. 3rd and 4. McKinley, they went inside with the fullback. He's in there somewhere in that pile of bodies. Marcellus Elder was one of the players in on the tackle. But they're short of the first, the Sooners.
Look at this. Coming in, these guys had over 800 yards. Today, they've really struggled. And I want to make this point. Colorado knew it had to stop the fullback. Last year, the Buffaloes shut down the fullbacks, held them to 54 total yards and won. They're doing that again. Right now, Oklahoma's got to go on 4th down. They've got to force the issue here. They've got to try to pick up this first down on 4th.
Yeah, but a field goal would have given them the lead. They're going for it on 4th and a yard. Collins pitches to Brewer. I never liked that call, but that's easy to say now. Great defensive play by the Buffaloes. Tim James read the option.
This is Joel Steed, 93 in the dark jersey. His penetration starts it off, makes Collins get a little bit off balance. Now he's fighting for his life and pitches late. By that time, the support on the outside perimeter has already come up, and Tim James makes the stop. I'll tell you why I like to go for that, because you've got that offensive line. You've got confidence in your offense. You want to establish and take back that momentum that you had lost. Backfired.
Hagan, play action right away. Looking down to Rico. He has it at the 40. Rico Smith. Touchdown, Colorado.
The longest touchdown pass of Darian Hagan's career at Colorado, 85 yards.
And who would have been looking for Rico Smith? That's only his eighth catch of the year.
That wasn't an easy catch to make. Had a defender draped over him.
Well, the pass, I think, was tipped.
It was tipped a bit.
I believe that was Jason Belser back there, got a hand on it, so it was great concentration. But he only had 8 catches. That's his 8th catch of the year, his first today.
Rico Smith against Stanford dropped a touchdown right on the goal line. He's a junior college transfer. The coaches have been building his confidence back ever since. That's his first touchdown as a Buffalo. PAT, Harper gets it through the right side. How long? 85 yards.
Play action. Play action. You fake to Bieniemy. Hagan just steps up now and just fires. He's going right after the safety. Now watch 29 in white, Belser. He thinks he's got the interception. Here he goes up and over, mistimes his jump, tips it, and the reception is made. Great concentration by Rico Smith. By that time, Terry Ray's out of it. He can't catch him. Go for it. When they were in field goal range, Joel Steed makes Collins go deeper. Then the forced pitch. By then, the cover guy comes outside. The ball turns over on downs. Now, Colorado comes right back on the first play. They go play action. You're looking for Bieniemy. Absolutely not. Hagan steps up and drills it deep. Now, who do you go for? The guy that hadn't had many catches, his first of the day. Belser misses the interception, tips it. Rico Smith has his 8th catch of the year. The least likely guy you would expect. You'd be looking for Pritchard, and it's a touchdown. This ball is tipped. Belser thought he had the interception, mistimed his leap, and just barely got a hand on it. Terry Ray, number 19, never had a chance then to catch Rico Smith. Boy, what a turn of events. See, I told you they should have gone for that field goal, Jim.
The field goal, had they attempted it, would have been only 28 yards and straight away. A little more than an extra point, and would have given Oklahoma the lead if it was good. But they went the other direction. Colorado strikes right back. Now there was a penalty because of the celebration. They're backing up the Buffaloes to the 20-yard line. This could give the Sooners good field position. Driving kick. Taylor from the 10. 10, 20, 30. Taylor to the 40. There's the flag. And down at the 48-yard line. That was a sparkling run back by Otis Taylor.
A lot of laundry being aired out there.
Yep.
Flags everywhere.
Probably will be nullifying the big run back by Taylor.
Clipping on the run back, 15 yards from the flag.
Left to your screen, number 41, Mike Coates. He's the guilty party for pushing in the back. I want to tell you, too, he didn't go unnoticed by anybody. Flags came out of everybody's pocket.
See that note right there? Oklahoma has been scoreless 3 times in the last 2 weeks. The last 2 games to Texas and Iowa State, they could not muster any points at all in those narrow losses.
25 years since Oklahoma has lost 3 in a row.
1865, trying to avoid that distinction today. 1st and 10. Collins gets away from Steed, now throws the sideline route. McCluan's there for the interception. Dave McCluan. He'll try to run it back. Look out. Dave McCluan to the 38-yard line.
This is a terrible throw by Collins. Now, they knew coming into the game that McCluan was going to be one-on-one on the split end a lot, and they try to get it to him in a quick drop. but the ball is overthrown. It's not even close. McClellan looks like the intended receiver.
The enemy hit right away by Joe Bowden.
Otis Taylor is the intended receiver, and he's not within 10 yards of this football. You can see him in the right hand of your screen. McClellan looks like he is the intended receiver, the left corner. He was playing soft, and it paid off. Talked about how many times turnovers decide games. Perfect indication here.
2nd down, 8 to go for the Buffaloes. Bowden again on the tackle as we return you to our sideline man, John Dockery.
Hey, Jim, anyone that tells you that emotion isn't part of college football won't believe what I just saw. That's Mike Barry along the sidelines, the offensive line coach. He gathered the entire offense together and gave a Newt Rockne pep talk. He said, we have these guys down. Now it's time to pound them and hammer them and finish them off like a heavyweight fight. Knock them out. Just pound it and take it to them. Inspirational. Wow.
Doc, you inspired me.
Doc's ready.
You sound like Newt. 3rd and 6. Sean Brown, 1st down inside the 20.
Motivation's working. Gave those kids a checkup from the neck up.
Brown limps off after his 4th reception today. Think we should get John Dockery a helmet down on the sidelines after that? David Brown will replace Sean Brown at tight end. 12 minutes to go. 25-17 Buffaloes. First down, James Hill, a fullback. Hill spinning free and dragging defenders to the 3-yard line.
Shows you the licks that Hemingway's been taking. Darian Hagan came to the line that last time. Jimmy saw Oklahoma was coming on the left side with the blitz, so he took it right side for the big gainer.
Saw a footprint, too, where the enemy stepped on him that one time. 1st and goal. Here comes Hagan. Touchdown, Colorado. Converts. Now a 15-point lead.
Strength of the triple option is it can be run to either side effectively so the defense doesn't know the point of attack. It's hard to stop all 3 options. Hagan, when he reads as well as he does after the snap, put it on the hip, read the pursuit there, saw the pitch man covered. Great read on his side. How about that motivation talk? You think that worked?
You bet. Folsom Field, Boulder, Colorado. Colorado has broken this game wide open in the first few minutes of the 4th quarter. Touchback to the 20. Next week we'll be back east in Charlottesville.
Monticello nearby for Virginia, and Georgia Tech will square off. That will be the ACC championship game. There will be a lot of things decided next Saturday in Charlottesville.
A lot of folks interested to see if Virginia is in fact really the #1 team in the nation. They've got a lot of good skilled folks, but Georgia Tech, coached by Bobby Ross, is very well schooled in fundamentals. We'll give them all they can handle.
Collins pitch to Brewer. 8 yards for Brewer. That's a game next week that will really help clear the picture as far as the bowl games.
The Heisman, the bowl games, the ACC championship, all next Saturday in Charlottesville. Meanwhile, back in Norman, Oklahoma, I'll guarantee you everybody's second-guessing Gary Gibbs. We had a lot of fun with it playing back and forth, but it's the biggest play of the game thus far, going for it on 4th down rather than kicking the field goal, and he'll be second-guessed all week.
Took all the spark out of his Sooners. Now 2nd and 2, right ahead, Rashid.
Kenyon.
A gain of 16 yards for Kenyon Rashid. He legally changed his name as a junior in high school from Kenyon Walker to follow his father in the Muslim faith. And his mother came up with his name after reading a story about Kenya. That's how you get Kenyon Rashid. He's the single back, play action fake to him. Collins is sacked. It's a sack by a freshman, Brian Diet. The score now a 15-point lead by Colorado. This is where you need a guy like Gundy in there.
Absolutely. I mean, he's the guy that can pass. Collins has been having trouble with him, but that really was not Collins' fault. Again, Chad Brown, number 34, locked on the tight end Cooper, just hung with him. So when Collins looked for him, couldn't find him, so he was covered, and he got sacked.
If you're just joining us, Cale Gundy started this game, but went out with a groin pull in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down pitch. Boy, that was dangerous. Brewer has it for a loss. Alfred Williams took out Collins. And Chad Brown gets the tackle.
Colorado defense got a wake-up call. They're now playing and running to the football, having fun out there. Look at this. First of all, they see the bad pitch. Here comes our guy, Chad Brown, on the left again, the linebacker. No indecision in that. Comes right to the football and makes the tackle. He's playing a fantastic football game. 2nd leading tackler. Averages 11 per game. Has more than that already.
3rd down and 17. 9 minutes to go. Brewer 10 yards short of the first. Dion Figures tripped him.
So you make such a good point, because as time is going down, they're still running the option. They need to pass. They need to utilize that clock. Collins has to become a curator of clocks and really control it.
How about Detmer today? In the first half has thrown for 4 touchdowns and very nearly 300 yards.
That's despite the shark bite. Stitches in his left hand. Was working in the zoology class yesterday. Cut his left hand. Dissecting a shark.
Can you believe that? Didn't know they had sharks in Utah. Flag down. McLuhan runs it back from the 14. Now a 2nd flag down. And one official throws his hat into the pile.
Yeah, see, that hat's going to represent a flag. See, once you throw your flag, then you see another penalty, just throw your hat. Throw anything else you can find.
What do you do if there's a 3rd penalty?
You just start reaching and grabbing anything you can find.
You rip the shirt off.
I can't get over that Ty Detmer situation. Zoology class, dissecting a shark. Lost the scalpel a little bit. It dropped down into his left hand and just pierced it for stitches. 2 stitches, I believe.
We have 2 penalties in Colorado. We had 12 players participating, and then they had a clip and a run back.
See, the 12 players, that drew all the flags. Then the clip, that was the hat. All right, there's 11 lined up there. Watch this. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the official. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And here's the guy right in here. And then they've got the receiver. So they've got 12 guys on the field. So now when they do that, all the officials see it. They all throw flags. Then there's a clip down the end of the play, and they just throw their hats.
The important thing is, though, the 12 men on the field will be stepped off from the original line of scrimmage and not assessed against the return. So Oklahoma has brought its offense back out onto the field. They're discussing things with Steve Collins and Mike Sawatsky.
Illegal participation has been accepted. It'll be a 1st and 10 after 15 yards.
That is like a turnover, and it gives the Sooners the football in Colorado territory at the 40.
It's a terrific break for Oklahoma. Bill McCartney is going to speak to his special teams coach. I mean, you can't make those kinds of mistakes. Practice that every single day. Special teams, you end practice with it. You've got to know when you're in the ball game and when you're not.
Low pitch, Brewer fields it and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Beekert tackles Brewer, but again they were right in on Collins after he took the snap. Half a quarter to go, and at the conclusion of this game we'll be selecting a Chevrolet MVP from each team. It's now the 20th consecutive year the Chevrolet scholarship program has been involved in college football, and of course $1,000 will be donated to the general scholarship fund of each school. 2nd and 10. Collins has room, dives to the 36. Only 4. Tim James and Chad Brown plugged the hole. But Beekert now 15 tackles.
Al's got 12. McGee and Williams on the corner, 7 apiece.
3rd and 6. Collins throws complete to Cooper. 1st down, Oklahoma. A gain of 15.
Nicely designed and well executed by Collins. Good play action fake. See him come out with the reverse pivot, lose the ball. He hides behind the line, just comes up and pops it very quickly. That's one time where he did beat Chad Brown. See 34 chasing him down. Brown had been taking away that tight end, and that time he came free.
1st and 10. Collins to Brewer. And out at the 10.
Who's on the pitch? Double offense. That's rip. 5. Come on, defense.
The intense Eric Bieniemy.
That's a pretty good question he asked, too. Who's on the pitch? Somebody better get out there.
First down, Oklahoma. Inside and to the 6-yard line.
Let's go, defense!
Darren Lewis almost matching Bieniemy's numbers today. But he's still in the 4th quarter at College Station. Rashid advanced the football to the 6. It's 2nd and goal to go. Brewer, Duell, touchdown, Oklahoma.
What a block he got from Otis Taylor, too. Otis Taylor ought to get half that touchdown credit.
Give him the kick.
Buell starting to do it all for the Oklahoma offense. He started to break free here in the second half, including a 40-yard run at one point. Scores the touchdown, and now the team will go for 2.
Well, they have to, Jim.
Well, they're down 9. This could put them within 7. Brewer again. Judgment call. No, they say. An eye-opener for Gary Gibbs. That's as close as you can get without crossing the goal line.
I don't think that's a judgment call at all. The ball has to cross the line, and it never even got close. It's not his body, it's the ball. And watch what happens. It never gets close to the goal line, the invisible plane. He's there. He knows he's there. He just needs one more surge. Now, all right, his body's on the line, but the ball never crosses that invisible plane.
It's about an inch short. It's about an inch away. He was fighting too, though, wasn't he? But the replay really clarifies it all. He did not, Tim. You were right. He did not cross the goal line. 9-point lead, Colorado.
Scored on a big play here. Watch what happens now as we roll the triple option. First fake is in the middle. That's going to bring the linebackers. Here comes Beekert now, 19 at the quarterback. But stop right there. All right, look at the block right here by Otis Taylor on figures. That makes the touchdown work. Kicks him out. Take it straight up for the score.
But at this point, with 5:51 to go, Oklahoma really needed the 2. Otherwise, they're down still 2 scores. They pitched it to Brewer. Watch this young man fight for the goal line with 3 defenders. Tim made the point. The football has to cross the goal line. Maybe his back is breaking the plane, but the football is short.
See who the third tackler was right there? It was Chad Brown again, who grabbed him and made sure he didn't get that last thrust.
Nope. Don't have to disguise this one. Brad Waddell will kick it onside. Big high bounce to Hemingway, and he holds on. Tomorrow, the NFL Today starts our double header coverage. 12:30 Eastern time. The early games include Minnesota against Green Bay. A couple of teams have to be disappointed here near the midway point of the season. Plus other action. And then late, the Redskins and the Giants to most of the nation. You'll have to check your local listings for the game and time in your area. That's tomorrow, and CBS started off 12:30 Eastern. The NFL Today. The enemy. Russell Allen and Bowden helped bring him down. You attribute that to Collins being at the controls?
Well, it certainly has made a difference. I mean, they started running the football, and they were very pass-heavy in the first half. That's an interesting statistic, though. Very rarely do you see a team that dominates so much time of possession and still trails in the ballgame.
5:15 to go. 2nd and 10. Hemingway fighting to the 40. About a yard short of the first. Oklahoma needs 2 scores. And there's less than 5 minutes left. The Sooners have only 2 timeouts remaining. This could be worth a couple of minutes on the clock. 3rd and 1. The enemy. That will be close. Bowden on the tackle.
Well, that is a big mark by the officials. He spotted with his left foot or his right foot. Bring out the chains, he'll measure, see if he got it.
What do you think? Look at Lewis from Washington.
That's in a little more than 2 quarters. Guys in the Heisman race making moves today, except for Sean Moore, who has an off week. Rocket plays later this evening. Does it look like here, though? This is the key measurement.
Doesn't look like he got it. Does it? Inches.
What do you think? He's going to go for it, Tim.
Well, they've been dominating on the ground in this quarter. He loves his offensive line. He loves Bieniemy.
4th and inches.
Hagan can get it too on the sneak.
Hemingway. Hit first by Chris Wilson. He was lunging across the line. Another measurement may be forthcoming. Didn't appear to gain very much.
Colorado players say his forward progress got it. Oklahoma says no, and they're right. Didn't get it. Straight ahead to the fullback, Hemingway. Look at the linebackers coming over and filling. Boy, Bowden just dove right over top. Underneath, short yardage, you want to get by that offensive line, establish a new line of scrimmage, a yard deep in the offensive backfield. Let the linebackers fill. That's exactly what they did over the top. Big defensive play by Oklahoma.
Don't give up on the Sooners. 4:23 left. 2 timeouts on their side. Otis Taylor drops the football.
That'll frustrate Collins. He knows the ball was there. He knows Taylor was open. And Taylor's got to make that catch.
Bring in Joey Mickey at tight end. 2nd and 10. There's Taylor. He grabs it this time. And trying to make sure the knee doesn't touch. He squirms forward near the first down.
How things have changed.
Of course, the 85-yard touchdown pass to Rico Smith always helps the average.
See what Oklahoma did there, though? 3-step drop, get it out quickly. That way you can't get pressure on the quarterback, and it really puts a lot of pressure on the defensive secondary.
3rd and less than a yard. There's the first down by McKinley into Colorado turf at the 48. Brought in now their 3rd team tight end, Ricky Brady. First down play for the Sooners. That was intended for Brady.
That's one of the few times you'll see an offensive receiver get a better lick on the defensive guy than he got on you. He just leveled Tim James after the ball went over his head.
Speaking of Ricky Brady, the freshman tight end, who remains in there. 2nd and 10. Airing it out. The man is there. Oh, Arthur Guess was the target.
Somehow Guess gets behind the secondary. Greg Thomas, 27, is trying to catch him. He's wide open, and the ball is just inches overthrown, actually touched his fingertips. Look at Collins. He knows it was a touchdown. Should have been a touchdown. Well, you get your leading receiver out there, fastest guy on the team, and get him behind the secondary. You got to hit it.
3rd and 10 with 3:21 left. Now they run the option on 3rd and 10 to get about half the distance. Obviously, they'll have to go for it on 4th down. All of the clocks just went out here at the stadium. All of them. As we were approaching 3 minutes remaining. Even knocked the score off the board, but we've kept track of it. It's still 32-23 Buffs. Come on in and join us for the final 3 minutes and 9 seconds. We're below the flat irons, as they call it. Off the Rocky Mountain range that hovers above Boulder, Colorado. Oklahoma must convert here. 4th and 5 to go. Incomplete. Colorado will take the football back. Greg Beekert deflected the football.
Watch Beekert, top left hand of your screen. Comes up, makes sure he's got run support, now sees it's a pass, gets his hand up and just knocks it down. Got himself caught, not even in the hook zone, got himself caught between the run and the pass and just happened to be at the right place at the right time. Greg Beekert. He's played well today. So's his sidekick, Chad Brown.
Hemingway all the way to the 39-yard line. TCU in trouble against Baylor, 4th quarter. Frogs have not lost a conference game, but the Bears have them by 11. .240 left in the contest. Colorado continues to burn the clock now. Eric Bieniemy.
All they have to do is hold on to the football, melt the clock. Oklahoma will use all its timeouts.
Yeah, they use one here, Tim.
That's it. They don't have any left.
Colorado about to oust Oklahoma, and next week they'll meet Nebraska in Lincoln. You're looking at the most secure coach in college football. Secure because at the age of 50, he was given a 15-year contract by the school this summer. Bieniemy. First down yardage at the 28.
And you mentioned McCartney. He's won 52 games in his 8+ years here in Boulder. 45 of those came in the last 5 seasons. That's a good sign for any coach when your program just gets stronger through longevity. He talked to us about building tradition. He said Oklahoma had it, Colorado wanted it. He said you build tradition through sweat and spilling your heart. Today his team did that.
Under 2 minutes left. First down, Colorado. Reggie Barnes at the line of scrimmage. Sooners cannot stop it. Got an official timeout. The Sooner is shaken up. Colorado will succeed on
the first half of the Quinella, and if they can win next week at Nebraska, the Buffaloes will be returning to Miami on January 1st in the Orange Bowl. Mere formality, it appears, the rest of the way with Oklahoma State and Kansas State.
I agree with that. Nebraska gets a big break having that game in Lincoln. Big red weekends. McCartney doesn't like red, because Oklahoma and Nebraska both wear them. One time, one of his assistants rented a car. It was red. He made the guy take it back.
Second and 10. Hemingway to the 20. Let's establish the lineup now. The starting lineup tonight on CBS. Family Man, the Hogan family, and a CBS special movie, Only One Survived, which of course sets us up.
The title for this game.
Right. Seems like those movies sometimes have those just setups for us. Right. One more carry for Bieniemy. Not even sure they'll have to snap it again.
I think he's accomplished what he set out to do. He's back in the Heisman race, but his #1 goal was winning, and he supplied it with 188 yards. First time since 1965. Ironically, it was Colorado that did that last to beat Oklahoma.
That will do it. Colorado explodes in the fourth quarter. The final score from Folsom Field, Colorado 32, Oklahoma 23.
Welcome back to New York, everyone. Andrea Joyce here in our studios. Our Chevrolet players of the game for Colorado, Eric Bieniemy and Cale Gundy of Oklahoma. Just a reminder, tonight on CBS, Family Man, followed by the Hogan family and a CBS special movie, Only One Survived. And that'll do it for us in New York. We'll see you next weekend. Bye-bye.